Hello everybody, it's KaloaGames here today, and today we're building something really exciting in a brand new world because the Sims 4 Strangerville game pack just released and I had to get it as soon as it was live because it's such an exciting game pack. I wanted I since they announced the pack, I've been thinking on what to build first for my first build with Strangerville, sorry. And I really wanted to do something with containers because I just think it's really cool. It's something really trendy right now with I've seen a lot of places, especially food places, do kind of like the container thing. So basically it's just recycled containers that they use for other stuff like restaurants or whatever. So I thought about what would happen if a place full of old containers was left abandoned, but then a guy then the apocalypse happens or something like that. If you know what Strangerville is about, then that kind of apocalypse, so you need a place to hide out and lay low. So what better than a shipping container yard, because it already has standing structures and it's really easy to hide, and that was my part of my reasoning. I also just wanted to do it because I think it would look cool, and I think it does end up looking pretty cool. So the containers we have here is like the basic layout. I wanted the entrance to look very unconspicuous. I don't know how to say that word. To look very simple and to not draw a lot of attention. So, and from the outside, I want this place to look pretty much like just containers. So there's no windows on the outside, only to the inside courtyard. Well, except for one of the top containers. But those are diagonals, so it's different. Here I was trying to figure out how to make everything work, because I had already figured out that I wanted to make it like a hideout / camp / place for people to hide. So as I was figuring out what container was gonna be what and where everything was gonna be, I started developing the story of who I would imagine to live here. So I did actually create the Sims, and they're not in the cinematics at the end because I wanted it to look, I don't know, more, because it's a lot of people that I imagined living here, so it was a little bit of it took away from the build. But I did upload them to the gallery. They're called survivors. That's what I named the household. And you can find them on my gallery, and you can find this build on the gallery too, of course. And here I was trying to do something a little weird. I was trying to mismatch the counters, but it just didn't work. It looked weird. So I decided to go with matching counters and just old, very old appliances. I really like how the wall cabinets turned out, because they look very different one from each other, and it's just not just like the same cabinet over and over again. Of course, we get like pots and things and a lot of clutter around, because it's not the ideal place. There's not a lot of storage in shipping containers. It's just one big block, you know. But I love how this kitchen turned out. I really like how it's open to the downstairs, even if it's in a weird diagonal way. But I really like how that looks from the top, from the kitchen, and from downstairs, which downstairs is gonna be the dining area. I didn't want to make this place completely like a military compound, but I did want to have a common areas, because I would imagine the people living here just, apart from the limited space that there's in the containers, you can't have an individual kitchen for each family. So I don't know why I was placing so many tables and chairs, because at the end we only end up with 3 families living here. Well, 2 families and a single sim. One of the families is just a father, his wife, and their daughter. And then we have the other family, which is just a teen girl and her little brother, which I thought could be very interesting for gameplay. And then the other sim is kind of like the one who runs things, and the one who actually wants to solve the mystery and not just hide from everyone. So yeah, I decided to put in a bar, because if you're surviving the apocalypse, a bar would probably help. And of course, a little coffee station down here too. And in gameplay, it's amazing how much the Sims use that coffee machine. I did test this lot out and everything works. There's just one thing that is a little wonky, but I think I left it working, so it should be fine. I found those little flags from Get Together, which are for the clubs, but I thought it was really interesting to like mark the different containers. So like the diner and kitchen have that thing. Oh, and I'm adding vents too, because I thought it made it look a little bit more like shipping containers. I know they could look more like shipping containers, but I also wanted them to look nice. And I'm trying to get the fences to work. I actually, in the back, they ended up being pretty cool. In the side here, I spent hours trying to get them to work, and at the end I kinda did, not as I wanted to, but they work. So here in the front, when you enter, we have like a little office surveillance area. We have a camera there and a camera inside the office. And later on I put on a TV so you can actually see what the cameras are showing. I'm doing a little bit of landscaping from the outside because I wanted to use those see-through fences, the chain link fences, but I didn't want them to be too see-through because, you're supposed to be hiding here. So I used those boxes, and with more foliage later on, I kind of hide it. And I think it turned out pretty cool. Then I decided that we needed workout equipment. And I was gonna try to put it there and make like a little gym. But then I decided I wanted to have one more sim in the lot, so that ends up becoming his bedroom and his bathroom. The two containers, well, this container is linked to the one above next to the kitchen, and this other one in the back is just a standalone container. This one in the back is gonna be for our gardener sim, because in the apocalypse a person who knows how to garden would be really useful. And this is gonna be the teen and her little brother. Her little brother doesn't have a defined role, but he's very active, and he really likes to follow in the footsteps of the leader of the little, I guess you can call it a community. So at the start I was just gonna have the sister, but then I added the other bed, lighting up around. I really like those new lights that came with Strangerville. They are really fun. And I thought it was really nice how this pack tied in with the stuff that we already have in the game. Like some Salvadorada stuff, laundry day stuff was tied in perfectly. And yeah, just a lot of things worked very well with each other. Here I'm just making a little, what do you call those, like a gallery kind of thing. Yeah, as you can see, the sim really likes nature and plants, so that's the basic theme for her bedroom. And I don't know if you can see, but I added some decals to the outside of the containers, some holes, technically, according to the description. So it would look a little bit more dirty, more run down, less new, I added those awnings because it just needed a little bit of detail. I know we're trying to be conspicuous and not make the entrance too obvious, but also if you're entering and it's raining, you want a little bit of something to cover up your head while you open the door. Here is when I tried to make the gym, and I wasn't very happy with how it was turning out, because I wanted it to look like a good gym, but also like an improvised gym, and I didn't know how to do that, so we do change that up. This shipping container is where the family of 3 lives. The father, that's called Santiago. He's a woodworker, So he does have the woodworking table on the first floor, and he helps around upgrading stuff and creating new furniture and stuff like that. And the mother is the one who cooks and cleans up. She's a neat person and also wants to be a chef. And this is the little room for the leader, who's called Braydon. And yeah, now we're just jumping between all the rooms. Here's when I decided she was having a brother. And she's called Annalise Breen, and her brother is called Dylan Breen. So that's where the Breen siblings live. And here is what I was telling you that isn't 100% perfect, but last time I tested it and before uploading to the gallery it was working. Those clotheslines don't always want to work, so just keep an eye on them. If not, just flatten the space out. The bathrooms are all a little wacky and colorful because I imagine if you are scavenging for stuff, not everything is gonna be ideal. I gave myself quite a bit of room to have nicer furniture with the wooden furniture because we do have a carpenter on the lot. So I thought it was fitting to have nice wood furniture. That bathroom works. I also tested that one. And here you can see the little carpenter shop. Well, it's not even like a shop, it's just a corner. And their son's bedroom, which is really small, but it even has a toy chest in it. So and anyways, you're probably not gonna spend a lot of time inside because at the end of the day it is a shipping container. There I just added a small living room because we didn't have any living rooms in any of the other containers, and I thought this one was the one it would suit the most. Also, just since it's like a more traditional family, I thought it would be nice of them to have that. I also added a bonfire because I thought it looked good. Yeah. I don't have much of a reason. I just thought it was a nice centerpiece for the yard. The yard is very simple. Just some paint, some terrain painting, and some plants I add later on. And at the end, the gym area is there where the machines are, but I do detail it a little bit more with the plants around it and a little bit of terrain painting underneath. So this is basically how it ended up. I did add a little bit of things while I was play testing it, stuff that I forgot, or a little bit of more details. So that's the version that's uploaded to the gallery. So if you want to download it, you can search my origin ID, it's KaloaGames, or there will be a link in the description down below for both the build and the, not family, but the people. Okay, so I gotta wrap it up. So have a very nice day, enjoy the cinematics, and see you in the next video. Bye.